Welcome to our class for today. Today we'll learn all about a manual sewing machine. So this manual sewing machine sometimes can be called a blackhead sewing machine. It can also be called a low shank sewing machine. Your tabletop electric sewing machine is also a low shank sewing machine. So in this video we will learn all about the parts of a sewing machine and their uses. So without wasting your time, let's jump into the video. So the first part of the sewing machine we are looking at is your fly or your balance wheel. So this is the part of the sewing machine that sets the machine on motion. So you see the moment I move this, other parts of the machine begins to move. So this is called your fly or balance wheel. It sets the machine on motion. And whenever you want to use this, you move it towards yourself, not away, towards yourself. The next part of the sewing machine we're looking at is the spool pin. So this holds the thread in place while you sew. It's called thread guide. So it guides the thread from the spool as you are sewing from this spool. The next place you take your thread to is your thread guide, followed by the tension disc. This is called the tension disc. This holds the thread tightly, creating some form of tension while you sew. So this is called your take-up lever. The take-up lever. While sewing, the take-up lever goes up and down. Now this up and down movement is what ensures the flow of thread to the needle. So that's what ensures that thread from here goes down here. So we also have another thread guide here. So if you don't want, but I make use of it since I still have it on my machine. Then we have the needle. So the needle is the part of the machine that goes into the fabric. So this is the needle. The next part of the sewing machine we'll be looking at is the presser foot. So this is our presser foot. Now the presser foot holds the fabric in place while we sew. So this is your presser foot. This is your presser foot. So this is what holds your fabric. So when you're sewing, this is what will sit on your fabric while you sew. When you take this up, your presser foot goes up. And then when you bring it down, your presser foot comes down. So this is called the presser foot lever. This is called the presser foot lever. It goes up and down. So this is the feed dog. This rough stuff inside the machine, that's the feed dog. Now the job of the feed dog, it moves the fabric forward or backward as the case may be. So if you are sewing, it will move your fabric forward, and you want to backstitch, it moves your fabric backward. Now the next thing we have here is our needle clamp. Now this is our needle clamp. This is the needle clamp. So the job of the needle clamp, it holds the needle. It holds the needle in place while you sew. The other parts we have here is our needle plate. So this is your needle plate. This is called your needle plate. If you want to buy it in the tailoring material shop, this is called a needle plate. The slide plate. So this is our slide plate. It reveals where our shuttle is. So you can see the shuttle is inside. So it can close and it can also open. Shuttle chamber. It houses the shuttle and the bobbin. So this is my shuttle. This is the shuttle chamber, and this is called the shuttle. This is called the villa. While some people also call this the bobbin casing and bobbin, whichever one you know it for. This is the stitch regulator. So let me bring it closer. Now, whenever you have this in the middle, this is the tightest if you want, but I don't usually make use of this anyway. But this is where you have the tightest stitch. When you take this to you can loosen this. When you loosen it, then you can take your stitch regulator to the lowest. When you are doing your gathering stitch, then it's moving forward here. You take it to the middle. It's not moving, but it's tight, but it will not be moving here. You take it up here, it begins to go backwards. So the moment you move your stitch regulator from here, is your sewing is tighter, but it's going backward. The moment you take it up here, to the highest point, it is very loose, but it is going in the reverse direction. Depends on what you want to achieve. To make a permanent stitch, place your regulator at 7 or 10. Even if you want to lose, you don't end up destroying your fabric.